Dr. Sabrina, we are talking about boundaries today. And boundaries are so important in your business so that you can have the life that you want. And I'm curious, what are some boundaries that you've established in your business to fully support your life?
Oh my gosh. Boundaries are everywhere. And I think the hard thing about boundaries is when we are setting them, they feel really hard. But once they're in place, it's kind of like set it and forget it, and it makes life better.
It does.
So you asked me to think about what is the hardest boundary I put in place, and I'll share that in just a little bit. But I will say that some of the boundaries I have in place are around work times, like when I work and when I don't work. I work from home, so being really clear, it's about just not wandering into the office to finish something up at 8 o'clock at night. That's one boundary that brings me a lot of peace. But over the years, setting boundaries around pricing has really affected quality of life. Like raising fees is a boundary because we're saying we won't work at this lower value because we know the value of our services at this level. So that's a boundary. Boundaries come in with team members, setting expectations for results they're supposed to deliver. And when they're not delivering those results, and there have been repeated coaching sessions around that, and you're still not seeing the results, making the decision to terminate someone is a boundary. And that's one of those hard boundaries to set. Boundaries come in so many ways, in our work with clients, setting a precedent that we need the call strategy form completed ahead of group is a boundary, so we can show up and do our best for our clients. Having the set times that we meet with our clients, offering spot coaching. A lot of times newer coaches hesitate to offer spot coaching to their clients because they think, oh my gosh, the clients are going to constantly want to interact with me. And I'm going to tell you something. Our clients at Tap the Potential are busy small business owners. They have growing businesses. They would prefer to spend less and less time on the phone with us. They enjoy our company and they enjoy coming to group, but the more efficient we can be in answering the questions they ask and giving them what they need, they're like, okay, we're done. And if we can end group early because we finished up addressing the different issues, they're happy with that. And so, but that's from boundary setting and setting expectations. So there's so many places where we business owners can bring peace to our lives with boundaries. Melissa, I'm curious, what are some of the boundaries you're aware of?
So I think the boundary that was the hardest for me to establish was taking Fridays off. Now, I don't take the full day in complete transparency. Of course, I begin my day by looking for any communication that I need to resolve. And then I start my Friday with thinking time. So there's never any meetings on Fridays, and that gives me space to reflect on my department and the delivery of our services and innovate and really create solutions around challenges for our clients. And the beautiful thing that I've done is I get away from the office, so I'll leave the house and go to the coffee shop or do something for fun. And it's in those moments where I spend my thinking time that so much magic has happened for Tap the Potential, for our clients, and for our team members. And at first, it felt like a lot of pressure that I was putting on our team and our clients and myself. And then it just, as I kept enforcing the boundary, I realized how beautiful it was and the example that it sets, because we're telling business owners, hey, you can work 25 hours a week. And we truly walk our talk. I know I track my time every week to ensure that I show up in integrity and to say this is possible and we're doing it. But because I've set that boundary on my time, Monday through Friday, I am cranking it out, highly focused, working hard, so that Friday I can unplug a bit and really think about the business in the manner that serves the business. It's been so fulfilling and life-changing, and I'm showing up at 1,000% every day supporting our clients and giving them so much love and compassion. So I need a little bit more time to really defrag and to take care of myself and fill my cup first, so that when I come back on Monday in groups, I'm just fully present and fully focused. That has been the biggest boundary that I've set, and I think the one that has served me and our clients the most.
I can see that. The product of your thinking time is so valuable to our team. There's so many conversations we've had where we're struggling to figure out a difficult issue, and you come back. Maybe it's a week later or 2 weeks later, but you're like, I have an idea. I think I've solved this. And that happens when you hold that boundary around the space with your thinking time. One of the hardest boundaries I have had to set is with my family and the business, because I work at home. And so, and I've been doing this over 20 years. So you can imagine I've done it when I had little babies and toddlers. And so that was hard, but it's actually been harder as they're older, because they have learned, obviously, when they can hear my voice, they know I'm on a coaching call or they know I'm on a podcast. They don't interrupt that. But when I have quiet time, when I'm working and I'm trying to focus, they wander in, and it's the got a minute questions, just like in an office setting, where you have team members, they think you're quiet and you're doing something, and because you're not talking to somebody else, then obviously you're available. And so having to set that boundary with my family, that my thinking time is valuable work time, and also really letting them know, like, because for me, first thing in the morning is when I'm freshest, and that's when I need to do that thinking time. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they can interrupt me all day long because I'm not doing anything of value. That's not my thinking time. And so helping them understand that has been critical. Another really hard boundary has been around our payment plans with clients, because we create a coaching agreement that says you're working with us for a year. And in recent years, since COVID, most business owners have not paid for the full amount up front. We have some who do, but the majority choose to pay over time on a monthly basis. And prior to COVID, a lot of business owners were paying in full upfront, so that wasn't an issue. But what happens is, if somebody has a life circumstance that comes up and they're in our coaching program and they need to pause, they want to pause their payment, which creates havoc inside the business because of the group structure and the number that we have in group and how many people we're expecting and the cash flow that we're expecting. So there's like multiple ways it falls out. And so we had to be really thoughtful in creating an agreement that our clients sign that honor, like, there are certain things, there's death in life, there's illness, emergencies come up, and we want to be supportive of our clients. We don't want to put them in a bad situation. But we've come up with a really nice way to honor that sometimes people do have to pause, and created a way where we can internally keep our cash flow going, serve our clients in group, and know so that things can be more predictable, which for me as the business owner, sometimes we business owners forget that there's fallout on our team from our decisions. And so for me, if I just say, hey, I want to be nice, I know they're going through a difficult time, we're going to just ignore this agreement and let it go, there's all kinds of fallout for our team and other clients in the group who are impacted by that as well. So I'm always reminded that the decisions don't just affect me. And as a matter of fact, we had a conversation in our level 10 meeting yesterday where you asked something about, well, what if this happens? And I said, well, we would handle it this way. And then Amy spoke up and she said, well, we can handle it this way now, but we need to remember as we continue to grow that we can't, that's not a sustainable action. We can't do this. And I thought, oh, she's right. And I need to be reminded to think of the decisions that I'm making now don't just impact us currently, they have ramifications for 2 or 3 years from now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. One boundary that I struggled greatly with, and I believe every business owner that we work with does as well, is setting limitations around goals. We often have so many things in our business that we want to fix or establish that we create these lofty goals and just try to quickly knock them out. So even last year, I think each quarter I would have, 3 or 4 rocks, and I could get them done, but at the compromise of something else. And our leadership team has really pushed me to stay within certain boundaries for establishing goals. And that has helped in a way that I didn't expect. It allowed me to take my time with everything that I'm implementing, creating, and really get in our client's shoes and think about how they experience it, and then test it a little bit before it's fully implemented. So I've definitely given myself grace. And the other thing is, and during our leadership calls, we have a specific task list that we are accountable for with our team. And I can remember years ago just knocking out task after task after task and making sure it was done before I came to that call. And now I'm really giving myself grace and being more mindful that it's okay if tasks take a little bit longer. My highest priority is our clients and being fully present with them and helping them meet their goals, which in turns help us meet our goals. And it still feels, I still feel friction when I come to calls and I say, oh, that's not done yet. But it's also so liberating because I know when it is done, it's going to be done right and in a way that will continue to move us forward. So that's a boundary that I'm still working on. And I think everyone tuning in is as well. Another boundary that I think our team has established that is so beautiful and profound and served my personal life so well is we lead with love. That's one of our immutable laws, and immutable laws are key to establishing boundaries in your business. But I used to show up no matter what was going on as this bubbly, full all-out self, even if I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
And our team has showed me it's okay to show up as you are. And that's not saying I don't show up fully serving. It's I don't have to extend so much energy when I'm not feeling my best, and that's okay.
Yes. Yeah. You brought up immutable laws. Those are our number one boundaries in our business. They really identify like what is in bounds behavior and what is out of bounds behavior. We've had team members in the past who have not led with love, and it's created so much chaos and strife. That it's just not been a good thing. Our work supports life is a really interesting immutable law in relation to boundaries, because people who aren't familiar with how we do business at Tap the Potential often ask, well, don't you get team members who just want to kick back and, they're not committed, they're just showing up because, you offer all this flexibility? And we have another immutable law that it means like we're going to take responsibility for our actions, and we work hard, and we're present when we're here. And so those two counter each other and balance each other out. Being able to have team members who are able to take time off to address things in their life is so important. I was reading a Facebook post from somebody whose husband is going through major surgery and will have a significant recovery period. And they had asked their employer if they could work from home during that time because the husband has to be driven to rehab appointments or physical therapy and rehab appointments multiple times during the week. And the employer denied it. And so now she's looking for another job. And I thought, wow. And she, what was really interesting about her post, if we were currently hiring at Tap the Pencil, I would have been reaching out to her. She laid out, I'm a rock star. These are the things I do. These are my skill sets. This is what I've done in the last year. Like, she identified specific results she delivered. And I thought, oh my gosh, whatever company she's working for is losing an A player because they are not offering any flexibility in this situation. And they're more worried about her clocking or, clocking in versus the results that she's delivering as she's trying to manage some difficult family circumstances. So we business owners can have much better boundaries with respecting our team members' lives. And that's really what Work Supports Life gets at.
Yeah, your immutable laws are so important. And we support our clients in using immutable laws to weed out non-ideal team members, attract those ideal team members and ideal clients. At Tap the Potential, we have several, and I'm curious, Dr. Sabrina, if you just had to pick one immutable law, what's your favorite?
It's definitely Work Supports Life, because I've seen the impact that has on our team members and myself in maintaining my energy for the work that we do, even during difficult times in our lives. And I really believe that is key to why we have such longevity with our team members. You just celebrated 6 years with us, Melissa. And you're one of the newer team members at Tap the Potential. Donna's been with us, I guess, like 18, 19 years at this point, a long time. So I think our ability to support team members through different circumstances in their lives it affects loyalty, it affects longevity, and it definitely affects the energy that's brought into the work, the love, the magic that we create with our clients.
Yeah, we definitely have magic.
What's your favorite immutable law?
My favorite is definitely lead with love. And, coming to work, I still have to pinch myself after 6 years because I just can't believe I get to do this. And Tap the Potential for me is like breathing. And our team and clients are just like family. You couldn't get rid of me if you tried, Dr. Sabrina. So I think that, when you have immutable laws established and you're attracting team members that have the same values, it changes everything. And that's part of having boundaries. So I just want to challenge everyone listening. If you don't have immutable laws, let's connect and get those established for your business. And I'll tell you how in a moment. But just start by identifying what's working and what's not working, and think about the things that tick you off. You likely have an immutable law there, or the things that you reflect on in your business and with your team that you're most proud of. So if you want to learn more, go to tapthepotential.com/assessment and take our assessment. And this assessment will help you determine some boundaries that need to be set and really how burned out you are in your business right now. And we'll follow that up with a complimentary call with Caitlin, and she'll walk you through your assessment and let you know what actions you need to take right now and what boundaries are important so that you can have a work that supports life just like we do.
Absolutely. Remember that boundaries are your $10,000 an hour time
Yes.
because they make other things easier or unnecessary. So when you take that assessment, you will get feedback on your burnout, and you'll also get feedback on changes that you can make internally in your business that will reduce your burnout. So it takes 13 minutes, I think, to take that assessment. So that's your $10,000 activity for today. Go do it. tapthepotential.com/assessment.
Thank you, Dr. Sabrina, and thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Profit by Design podcast.